This is the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, the podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick in a narrated format. So let's join in on the journey. Welcome to the podcast. With me, almost always, is my alter ego, J.R. Hendrick. Howdy, everybody. Now, the next episode, which will be recorded on Monday, and released on Monday, is a special episode, and JR will be out of town, speaking in Lubbock. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to have, probably Brent Clark will step in as co-host of this show. So, anyway, let's get down to business. This is an interesting time in JR's history. It's kind of a malaise, but also, how do I put it? Very interesting. Okay, so this episode, and this is where we get down to some of the nits and grits, unfortunately. This episode is, can there be a remedy for Brad's jealous bone? Okay, so let's go ahead. We cut to the ranch. It's 5 a.m., Friday the 14th. Betsy is supervising as Thomas has a crew load a set of bulls to go to a rodeo in Ballinger. The truckload of goats would be taken to Goldsmith for an auction. Okay, so 7:30 a.m. Central. Bacon, eggs, and bagels are for breakfast at the ranch. And Gerald's like, so Bobby, you want to go horseback riding after breakfast? Ken has to do some errands for Dr. Pepper, and Kevin has to go off for his internship. Sure thing, Bobby says. I have nothing to do this morning anyway, so why don't the three of us go horseback riding together? Don't forget, honey, Fern and I are taking you shopping this afternoon, Betsy said. And Gerald says, Kevin, I was thinking, when you two are done with your work errands, why don't we go do something? There's a Christian bookstore that Brad likes to go to. Sometimes on my way to church. I don't see why we can't do that, Gerald said. Okay, so we cut to Reagan International Airport. Jim and his dream team arrive at the private jet terminal, Reagan International Airport. The plane would be departing for Cleveland, Ohio at 2 p.m. Okay, so it's now 2:10 p.m. The charter jet carrying the Hendrick party departs from Reagan International Airport down for Cleveland, Ohio. Now, it's 3 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, JR and Kevin McDonald are competing in the 150 freestyle swimming race, of which Kevin handily won. You can do better than that, Junior. I'm woefully out of shape. It's not like it was a couple of years ago, Gerald said. Yeah, but with your father, everything is all about winning. JR gets out of the pool. You calling me a loser? No. I don't buy into your father's system of winning. That's what's getting him in trouble in Washington, D.C. How apparent we're going to see that. 6:30 p.m. Central. Come on, stupid phone. Nachos are for dinner, and everyone sits down to dinner. Kevin says grace, of course. And Max said, so Dad told me that the Montana Freeman surrendered to the FBI yesterday, Max said. And Betsy's like, how is he and your mama doing in Utah? And Max is like, oh, they love it now. They love it. Mom says Dad gets better hours in Utah. Mom teaches summer school at the University of Utah and takes the train every morning there. And Bobby says, you know, if Clinton would start putting more policies towards the economy and laws on such issues as teen pregnancies, something which the family can take care of, instead of the teenage pregnancies, something which the family can take care of. And Betsy's like, sadly, nobody knows what family is nowadays. And Gerald says, that's what I stated in my book. And Christine's like, again with that damn book. And Mike Fields says, Christine, you watch your manners, please. And Ken McDonald said, you know, JR, I thought maybe you, Elizabeth Marie, myself, Ken, and Dave Smith could go fishing tomorrow. And Gerald's like, but what about Max and Bobby? Gerald said. And Thomas is like, well, I asked Max and Bobby to help tomorrow with collecting the eggs and cleaning the chicken coops. Okay, so now it's 7 p.m. Eastern at the Convention Center of the Hotel Intercontinental. Jim is working with crews to help get things set up with as far as the lighting and everything. His dream team is consulting with him about what to say. Writing his speech for tomorrow would be Avery Covington. Interesting concept here. Okay, so it was the next day, and we cut to the ranch. And Betsy is awake drinking coffee. Outside, Thomas, Bobby, and Max are collecting some of the eggs that have hatched. Later on, they'll be cleaning the kitchen coop. 7 a.m. Eastern. In the hotel suite, Jim is having breakfast with Clara. Omelets and French toast. Jim knows that Clara will be leaving early Sunday morning to go back to Dallas to be with her husband. That morning, he tells Clara that he is cutting the relationship off as of tomorrow so that she can stay with her husband. Okay, so it's 9 a.m. Central at the Convention Center. Max Greenland's Proud American plays as Jim heads to the stage. He recalls working with Greenland during the early and mid 80s in Nashville, and awarding him a Ferrari, providing lyrics for Terry Lawrence. Okay, so it's 9 a.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, with JR and his crew out fishing, Christine is talking on the patio with her boyfriend Dave. So the Dork family decides to do something nice for a change. Go fishing with his real friends. And Brad and David's like, you know who you just sounded like? You sound just like your father. My dad told me that when he was home from Nashville for a few months, when you were 5, they told my dad to go buy him some real friends. And David's like, and Christine says, that's Daddy, all right. Wait a minute. Are you calling my daddy a mouse? And Dave's like, no, but think about it. What kind of father spends long absences away from his family? And Christine's like, Dave, you know, when you started dating with me, I told you it's all about winning and power with Daddy. And I feel the same way. Okay, I'm not going to give Christine the bell on this one, okay? I'm not going to give Christine the bell. And I could have done it, but she wasn't antagonizing. No, Christine just shooting wisecracks. 11:30 a.m. Eastern. With his part of the rally being over, Jim is back at the hotel getting a massage along with his dream team. 1 p.m. Eastern. Jim is swimming alone in the swimming pool at the hotel because it's obvious that Clara is busy campaigning in the hotel and around Cleveland for Dole. Jim had told her plainly that just because he was campaigning today for Congressman Sherman Ryder that it didn't mean that he was going to support the whole Republican ticket in 96. 3 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, as soon as some of the men clean up the chicken coop, JR is watching Star Trek, the Starflight 2 Genghis hits. This time, one of the best intriguing moments of the movie was when Commodore Richards ordered a strike against the SS Guile, which was hijacked by Genghis. The only one watching the movie with him is Elizabeth Marie. Okay, so it's now 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Jim and his dream team is having dinner at an upstairs restaurant room at the Buckeye Steakhouse. There was lots of laughter all around. But the one who remained the most silent was Clara, knowing that her relationship with Jim was over for the time being. Okay, so it's 9 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Kevin suggested JR take over a break with his fascination with science fiction and to watch a replay of his father's speech at a Sherman Ryder rally in Cleveland, Ohio. JR is intrigued and sees the love for his family in his father's eyes as he speaks about America's future and the future of his children. 7 a.m. Central. Eastern. This is the 16th. The charter jet carrying Jim and his dream team takes off from Cleveland International Airport, bound for Dulles International Airport. Jim realizes that other than his dream team and the Deckards, he would be in that big mansion utterly alone. He longs to see Betsy. It's obvious, okay? I think at that point he was getting sick and tired of D.C. He just wants to go home and be with his family. 8 a.m. Eastern. Jim's private jet lands in Washington, D.C., and the dream teams goes through to their separate cars. And Jim and the Deckards get into Jim's white Chrysler van to go back to the mansion. 11 a.m. Central. Medessa Heights Baptist Church. The whole family is sitting at church as the pastor, Tim Braswell, is preaching about fathers. 1 p.m. Eastern. Jim is sitting in the mansion front lounge when he gets a call gets the family back at the ranch. And Betsy says, "Happy Father's Day, honey." And Jim says, "Miss Betsy, how's the fam?" "Oh, they're just fine. I heard that Kyle called you just as you got off the plane." "Who is it?"
That's me.
"Oh. And okay. Let's see. Stupid thing went back. And Bessie says, "Okay, they're just fine. I heard that Kyle called you just as you got off the plane. I'll let JR talk to you for a little bit." "JR," Jim says, "Daddy, I watched the replay of that rally on Raynard News last night, and my friend said that you showed love in your eyes when you were talking about the future of America, especially for your kids," Gerald said. "You plan on getting married, boy? You better be getting ready to produce me a grandchild for me," Jim said. And of course, JR immediately hands the phone over to Christine. And Christine says, "Happy Father's Day, Daddy. When are you coming home?" And Jim says, "I don't know when, Christine. October, I guess." Okay, so it's 2 p.m. Eastern. Jim and the Deckers are watching a premiere of Independence Day in the theater at 14 Heritage Gate. 4 p.m. Central. Thomas arrives from taking the pigs to an auction in Pecos. During the auction, he calls his father to wish him a happy Father's Day. 8 p.m. Eastern. Jim is sitting in his front lounge listening to Raynard News. Okay. Keep losing our drive feed for the story, but we're going to get there. All right. So we cut to the next day. It's evening. It's 5 p.m. Jim is warmly greeting his dream team for boot camp before dinner. 7 p.m. Eastern. Jim and the Deckers, as well as the dream team. Dinner is Parmesan chicken, garlic mashed potatoes, asparagus, and lemon swain. So those who are new to this show, JR, please tell people what a lemon swain is. All right, a lemon swain it's a recipe that I got that my granddad made with my grandma. It's a lemon cheesecake. I mean, some of the sweetest tart lemon you got, minus the meringue. And you get that thing and you fix it properly and you freeze it. And it is delectable. Now, that's a family favorite. In fact, any business dinners I have at the ranch, I serve that. Okay, so now it's 6:30 p.m. 6:30 a.m. So it's the next day. Cinnamon rolls and French toast are for breakfast as the family sits down at the ranch. And so Jared says, "So Kevin, how are things with the internship?" Fascinating. The senator is is calling us tomorrow morning. And we have his chief of staff coming by this morning. All I can say is that I hope Jim gets some of his legislation passed, Betsy said. Elizabeth Marie, pass me some of that French toast, please. JR, your dad is probably going to be calling you sometime this morning. It's something very important about your book. And Christine's like, there we go again with that dorky book. And Mary Field says, knock it off, please. Okay, we're going to have Christine. She's going to have the first bell. That's just all there is to it. Christine. Yeah. We have to get you the bell. Go get school, girl. Reactive jealousy is not going to help. And so, Betsy's irritated. You know what? Sometimes you kids have been driving me crazy, Betsy said. I'm going outside to eat in the chapel. Don't come follow me. And Gerald's like, nice going, Christine. He stands up immediately and motions for one of the servants to take his tray to his room. Okay, so it's 9:30 a.m. And, of course, we're going to have to get the big phone out. Also put it on Do Not Disturb. And I think we haven't had a drink root beer for a while. And I think this particular recording's going to require it. I think so, too. Let's put this phone on Do Not Disturb so I can... Yeah, it is already on it. Okay. Good. Now, let's get to the voice recorder. All right. Here we go. What the heck is going on with this thing? It's not wanting to be. Let's exit and re-enter the app. I don't know what the heck's going on with this thing, but it's getting annoying. Alright, let's try this again. This app is being... Listen, you're going to be interviewed on the 8th of July by Andrew House. Alright? I don't know when I'll be back in town then. Doesn't matter, boy. You got a cell phone. He'll call you. He'll interview you about your book. I need you to get some public relations out there. That's what you studied for. I want you to go out there and get the word out about your book. We need it to be a bestseller. All right, Daddy. You got my word. Better be. Boy, I'm in a rat pit in D.C. The House just voted the first time on faith-based initiatives in a few months, and the damn thing failed. but it's being shot back to committee consideration until 3:30 this afternoon. Pray for me, boy. You got it, Daddy. I love you. I love you too, boy. I wish I could see you and wrap your arms around you and tell you how much. I know, Daddy. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later, boy. Bye. That's a very sweet scene between JR and between you and your daddy, JR. It was, and I think we're going to have a drink to celebrate that commemoration because some point in the saga, things are going to change. All right. 1 p.m. Eastern. Jim is getting ready to sit down for lunch at the mansion front lounge when he bumps into his Uncle Isaac. Uncle Isaac, what the hell are you doing? What the hell brings you here? Doctors told me yesterday that the cancer is in remission. So, I've flown down here to see you for 6 days. For 8 days. I can't have my little Jim all lonely now. And Jim he just blows up. Stop it, damn it. Tell me I'm little Jim. At my age. It's maddening. Okay, Jim. I didn't want to do this. Only one I wanted to reserve the bell for was Brad. But you deserve that. You don't talk to your uncle that way. Okay, so... And Uncle Isaac said, okay, man, calm down. I didn't mean anything by it. Look, your secretary says you have a rally in Raleigh tonight. I want to go with you. Good. Thank you, Uncle Isaac. You know, when I lived in Montana, you and I were very close. Nothing should ever change that. By the way, Aunt Kathleen sends you love. Okay, so it's 2 p.m. Eastern at the EAA offices in Washington, D.C. Jimmy's helping an intern with the guidelines of press release that is to be released within the hour. 3 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, JR and his friends, and Elizabeth Marie and Cousin Bobby, are all riding horses all over the ranch. Earlier that morning, Thomas had sent a couple of rams for an auction in Rankin, Texas. Now it's 6 p.m. Eastern. Two Cadillac limousines meet the Hendrick party at the plane landing in Raleigh, North Carolina. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Jim is speaking at a rally for Republican Senator Jesse Helms. His dream team was there to pull the audience and to set things up for Mass Media Thursday. Now it's 6 p.m. Central. Brad's car pulls up in front of the drive, and JR gets in with Jim Bob in the back seat. And Jim Bob's yammering again. He's like, well, my aunt finally raised the roof. The air conditioner got fixed yesterday. We even got that Goldstone Country Club card to pay for it that my father got for us back in the 1950s. And Brad said, same Jim Bob Horton from prep school. Some things never change, Jim Bob said. Well, some things do change. I got a call from Kristen today. She's asking me to come down up the week of the 4th of July to stay a while, one week with her, JR said. And Brad said, I could go without hearing that. And Jim was like, come on, Brad. Stop being jealous. I mean, he finally found somebody that he loves. Brad? That's just going to get the most feels. Brad. Bill. That's what you get for being stupidly jealous. Okay? 9:30 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, JR is talking to Ken. Who does he think he is? Ken said. Brad has no reason to be jealous of you. Oh, sure. Back when you two wanted Karen. But this is different. Don't get me wrong. I like Brad. Once again. But what are you doing right now? But what he's doing right now is wrong. And that's why I won't go with you guys to those home group Bible studies and his church. My daddy called me 5 minutes ago. Said I'm not to allow Brad on the ranch. Because he's jealous of me. Then what the hell kind of friendship is that? Gerald said. Okay, so the next day it's 9:55. Okay, oh, it's the next day. Oh, is this a flashback dream? Yeah, it's just saying now. Okay, 9:55 p.m. As I lay down on my bed, I fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. And then I had this flashback dream. Thursday, August 27th, 1992. Okay, so we cut to Weymouth Hall, and Carl is in his truck. And Jared's kind of dilly-dallying, and Carl's like, come on, Junior, let's go, Uncle Carl said, yelling out of his pickup truck. I'm taking you to Kentucky Belle for breakfast. And then I have to rush you over to the math building for your first class. So get rising and be a man. JR takes his backpack with a computer and puts it in the back of the truck. I owe you, Uncle Bob. You pulled me out from under the townhouse. Yeah, I know. Now, I'm not going to crap a whip at you like your dad. Acts like most days. So let's go. So, at the end of the dream, Carl parks the truck near the math building. It says, okay, you got algebra in 5 minutes. Hurry up! Train, of course. Yeah, we're filming at the ranch. Well, train line. Okay, we are nearing the end, I think, I hope. Okay, so we cut to the next day. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, Entrepreneurial Affairs Agency. Jim is talking to the various departments within congressional and media affairs about some staffing issues. Of course, he's in a Saturday night mood. He's annoyed because Jim notices that Phil later is there. A request from Nikki Cantor. In short, Daddy said to go over the meeting. Pissed him off. 3 p.m. Central. JR and Brad are in Karen's apartment talking. You're looking better. At least you're up to 99 pounds, Brad said. And Karen gets furious. Lay off the weight obsession, Brad. I haven't seen you eat anything healthy unless it's in a hamburger. How are things between you and Donald? He's slipping away, Karen said. He's slipping away, I can feel it. But do you necessarily need him? Seriously. You need more protein, Brad said. Lay off, Brad, Kara said. I actually can understand that Karen is in love with Donald. I feel the same way about Kristen. Here we go again, Brad said. Jealous bone Brad. Jealous bone Brad. Okay, bell time. Go get schooled, Brad. Envy is a deadly sin. 7 p.m. Eastern. Dinner that night with the dream team. Jim, Uncle Isaac, and the Deckards is beef salcedo, rice with mushrooms, green beans, and Montana German chocolate cake. Gerald, what's beef salcedo? It's something that a chef had in Washington, D.C. Fix Daddy. It was the kind of steak you use in chicken fried steak. And instead you broil it and then you dip it in queso. 7 p.m. Okay, we've already done that. 7 p.m. Central. Not willing to listen to Brad's choir rehearsal, JR has Carmen pick him up at First Baptist Church and take him to the St. Anthony Assemblies of Christ to do some prayer with Tim Newcastle. 9 p.m. Central. Okay, so we cut back to the ranch, and it's upstairs den, and JR is talking to Ken and Elizabeth Ree about Brad. And Elizabeth Marie says, you know, when I used to come to visit, I never really liked him. Brad, he likes to dish out the crap, but not take it. And Mike Field says, the fact that he's jealous of you and possessive of Karen is idiotic. It's the same old game, JR. And you have no business being doing it. And JR said, I was thinking about, along with Kevin McDonald, taking the old crew to the family condo for the weekend. I got this acceptance students weekend at the law school. And Kim says, okay, but while you and Kevin are busy doing that, Brad and Jim Bob will be off doing their fetishes. And I'm going to be swimming in the condo pool and watching TV. JR, you need to believe me, you're key. Okay, so it's 5 a.m. Central. At the ranch, Betsy is working with Thomas and the rest of the ranch crew, getting some bulls ready for a weekend rodeo in Texas City. 10 a.m. Eastern. At the theater at 14 Heritage Gate, Tim is with his dream team, who is being briefed by John Sestina, PR spokesman, getting ready for Jim's afternoon press briefing. 1 p.m., aided by John Sestina and Tim Reiner, Jim does his press briefing. And he delivers remarks about the legislation that he would like to see pass. Now, it's 2 p.m. Eastern, and Jim sits down with iced teas, talking to his Uncle Isaac in the upstairs balcony room. Your appointment for Clinton, Isaac said, going away softly, according to him. I don't really care. I'm just done hearing all his lies, nothing but words. I've had my fun chasing power games. But before long, Uncle Isaac, I'll be gone, Jim said. And Uncle Isaac's like, don't say that. When you were 12, you said that you admired your father for doing the chase for power as a legislator. And Jim says, he gave it up to serve in the military. Then he backed away from my mama and this family. And Isaac says, look it, your mom deserves better. The good news is that your Uncle Jim is going to be taking good care of her. And Jim says, it breaks my heart. I wish I could. Woman was always enabling Daddy, and it made me sick. 4 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, JR, Kevin, and Ken are packing their bags. The plan the next morning was to leave at 7:30, arriving in Lubbock, and going to the family condo by 9:40. Okay, so it's 5 p.m. Eastern. At the front lounge, Jim and Uncle Isaac are watching the evening drive on Raynard News. Isaac preferred CBNC, but Jim was in no mood to watch Norma Sanders' The Society page. 10 p.m. Central. Jared goes to sleep and has a flashback dream. It's March 29th, 1997. 3:30 p.m. Central, 1987. JR, your granddad wants to see you in his office. Thought I wasn't supposed to go into his office. Well, you did. Granddad? Sit in the chair. Sit down, Junior. Grandpa, you never have a kid. Sit down, boy. Look. Your dad's home. And that's good. Sometimes I think he's still busy with his head in the clouds, but Nashville still. Hopefully he'll get over it. Here's what I want you to do. Your mom wants you to get a job with the state. I've interfered. You're getting a job as the clerical assistant for the Red Scouts. You're going to learn everything about it. Why? Why's that, Granddad? Because when your daddy comes home and you get ready for the fall of your senior year at Reese Prep, I'm going to lay down the law with your daddy and say you're joining. JR, 17 years old. You're becoming a man, even a gentleman. Come here, boy. I'm proud of you. You deserve every bit. Have fun. Love you, boy. Love you too, Granddad. And scene. Let's rate this thing. I give this 4.5 root beers. I give it a phone call from Daddy, the one that raised me. And I get a chance to go fishing. JR, 4.5 root beers. A phone call from my daddy. And an interview on the Andrew House Show. Okay. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, take care, and going and get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to be a lot more interesting and bumpier from here. Lots of twists and turns. So take care, and God bless each and every single one of you. We love you.